So Judgment Day, once our sin has been atoned for by Jesus, is just basically, in my head, a highlight reel with God. Welcome to the Bible in 1 Year podcast, brought to you by two Brits and a Bible. If you like the idea of a casual yet meaningful chat about the Bible with a couple of mates listening, something in it could be good for you.
The end went a bit Scottish. Today is day 223, covering the end of Isaiah, chapters 64, 65 and 66. If you need a little brief overview of those chapters, they're in the description. That was quite a lot longer than normal.
Yeah,
that was pretty good though. That was pretty good. Just the ending went Scottish.
Yeah. I'm not used to Scouse. I don't really do Scouse very often, so I thought, why not just throw it out there?
It's such a gift because there's no way that I could just off the cuff do what you do there. And you got so many, and you barely practice them, is what you're saying.
I do. Sometimes I think my kids don't know what my normal voice actually is. Because they're like, is Dad German? He's like, I thought he was Australian. Like, pretty sure he's Irish. So yeah, poor kids, eh?
Yeah,
Things I put them through. All right, beauty. Let's talk about the Bible. We've run over the last 2 days, so we should probably try and stay true, shouldn't we? Anywho, Isaiah 64, verse 5. You come to the help of those who gladly do right. Who remember your ways. But when we continue to sin against them, you are angry. How then can we be saved? And so it's just, to me, this is like the absolute what you do for the least of these, you do for me type vibes, because it's saying like, you come to help those who glad right. When we sinned against them, you are angry. How can we be saved? So like, we're sinning against humans. How can we be saved? Because you got pissed off for us sinning against humans, not against you, but it's that exact spiel, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, love that, man. Really good point. Skipping down just a few to 64 verse 10. Your sacred cities have become a wasteland. Even Zion is a wasteland, Jerusalem a desolation. And, you know, this is a bit depressing to say, but it reminds me of not just America where I live, but a lot of the West, actually, because a lot of the West was founded on Judeo-Christian values, particularly Christianity. Think about England, America, etc. And more, you know, those countries have gone away from Christianity. And I honestly think that they've got tangibly worse as countries. Like, think about, you know, America 50 years ago versus now, like a city centre, let's say.
Yeah.
It was, you know, just much, much better. And now you go to one of those places. My mates have just been on a road trip across America, and I was a bit embarrassed by some of what they told me about just, you know, threats and stuff that happened to them in city centres. And I know it's sad, the amount of like homelessness and things like that. Of course it's sad, but it's just got out of hand worse and worse. And I'm sure a big part of it is because we've turned our back on God, same as Zion did.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's very true, dude. Very true.
Very bad stuff.
65 verse 1 kind of links in a little bit to what you were saying there. I revealed myself to those who did not ask for me. I was found by those who did not seek me. And I don't really know what my point is there, to be honest. It just sort of jumped out at me to be like, yeah, actually, God can just be like, boom, he can absolutely meet and minister to people anywhere, anyhow, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, doesn't always work that way.
No, I see what you're saying, because quite a lot of the people who are now saved aren't actively seeking God. And it reminds me of the Islamic world as well, actually, because you hear a lot about them dreaming about Jesus and hallucinating about Jesus. And that's a way that there is a big underground church in countries like Iran.
Yeah.
Like they're seeing him because Jesus can't give them a Bible because it's banned there and you could be killed for it. He's like, all right, I'll just pop into their dreams then instead.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused by this next one, 65:17, but you're going to talk about this as well, actually. So why don't you go for it, mate, and let's see if it answers my question.
All right, I'm going to actually, I just noticed that in 65:12, I was making the same kind of point as 65:1. So I'm just going to, you know, jump around a little bit.
Yeah.
For I called, but you did not answer. I spoke, but you did not listen. And it is kind of the opposite of the whole, he shows himself to people who aren't looking for him, because then it's saying, well, I called and you didn't answer. I spoke and you didn't listen. and just carries on with that. Really didn't really need to say it, but there you go, deal with it. So
No.
17, see, I will create a new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. But be glad and rejoice forever in what I will create, for I will create Jerusalem to be a delight and its people a joy. I think this is just end times prophecy.
Must be.
Just the whole new heavens, new earth type thing. But then out the back of that, what I quite like about it is this whole, the former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind, because I think that can be true for us in here and now. Again, we've chatted before about how God can just work absolute miracles of people fighting addictions and struggling with anything. And it can be a case of like, the former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind, but rejoice in what I will create. And so that can just be a verse of hope for people that are just in an absolute pit, just seeking some way out.
Yeah, that's good, dude. I mean, I've got those same verses, and it's the same sort of thoughts. For me, with the end times thing, I'm guessing this is the when Jesus' second coming, and then he rules on earth for 1,000 years, right?
Yeah, and we walk with him and
exactly. So I think that's what this part is. It's the newly reformed earth with Jesus as the leader for 1,000 years, which is just, can you come back, please, Lord? That'd be fantastic, actually. But yeah, I mean, I think the stuff in there as well, there will never again be an infant who lives but for a few days, or an old man who doesn't live out his years. Just all that human suffering will be gone. And someone who doesn't reach 100 would be considered cursed or whatever. Like, yeah, anyway, just a beautiful thing. And you've just answered my question. That's why I thought it was about end times and the 1,000-year reign of Jesus.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but it was an answer, wasn't it? So there you are.
Yeah, there you go. My next point is all the way in 66, so you might as well crack on for a bit, fella.
So is mine, bro.
Fair. 66:17.
All right, mine's 66:3. Sorry. Mine, when I was reading this, I just took the note first, then carried on reading a little bit, which I do sometimes. I need to learn to hold my thoughts in a little bit in life and in... But whoever sacrifices a bull is like one who kills a human being, and whoever offers a lamb is like one who breaks a dog's neck. And I was like, is that like, talking vegetarianism, veganism, like don't hurt the animals at all? But then it started talking about making grain offerings as like one who presents pig blood, and whoever burns memorial incense is like one who worships an idol. So I realized it was nothing about veganism, more just about worshipping false gods.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think that's what that's meant to mean potentially. I had a question, similar line of thought. So 66:17, it says, those who consecrate and purify themselves to go into the gardens, following one who is among those who eat the flesh of pigs, rats, and other unclean things, they will meet their end together with the one they follow, declares the Lord. And so that just threw me a bit. It's like, it seems that people who eat pig and other unclean things are going to end up in a bad place. But then Jesus obviously comes along and says, look, you don't have to worry about eating kosher anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, wait a minute, we're following someone now who says that it's okay to eat unclean things. So that whole thing just like really threw me for a minute. I was like, is this what? I don't know. But
absolutely.
Way above my pay grade.
Absolutely. Well, the last thing I'm going to say will hopefully redeem some of, I've been chatting a load of random crap today, but this is a decent point. I like this one. So if you stuck with us, appreciate you. And basically it's saying in 66:14 to 16-ish, the hand of the Lord will be made known to his servants, but his fury will be shown to his foes. Then it goes on to say, the Lord will execute judgment on all people, and many will be those slain by the Lord. And it's basically saying it's judgment in it, really, judgment day, and how the fury will be burned against the foes, but actually judgment comes on all people. And if you have a fair judge, I see a bunch of random Insta videos of this old judge who's just a super nice guy. And actually we'll all be judged, but we'll be judged for our good as well as being judged for our bad. So judgment day, once our sin has been atoned for by Jesus, is just basically in my head a highlight reel with God. Yeah. Like, good job, kid, you did good. And I'm just looking forward to Judgment Day, because I'm looking forward to my sin being atoned for and having the judgment passed on the good stuff that I've done rather than the crap. So yeah,
it's a great point. Love that, mate.
Basically. All right, smashing. Well, we're pretty much out of time again. So here we go. Tomorrow, Jeremiah 1, 2, and 3. Get reading, please.
Follow us at 2 Brits in the Bible. Share this with some people. Spread word God.